Dear friends, good morning on Wednesday the 25th of August. One of the most poignant and tragic characters in the Old Testament is the prophet Hosea. God tells him to go and marry a prostitute called Gomer. He does so, and she conceives a son. God tells Hosea to give him the ominous name Jezreel, the site of a particularly gruesome massacre in Israel's history. Gomer then has two more children, but they're not Hosea's, for she has already become unfaithful to him. God tells Hosea to call the first a daughter, not loved, and the second a boy, not my people. You can imagine how they must have been teased in the school playground. But their names are no laughing matter. Every time the people see not loved, they're reminded that God no longer loves his people. And when they come across not my people, they're confronted with the stark reality that they are no longer God's people, and he is no longer their God. For the people of Israel have become unfaithful to their loving God, who had rescued them from slavery in Egypt, married them, and brought them into the promised land. They've prostituted themselves with the worship of other gods, and they've forsaken him and his ways. As I've been reading this tragic story over the last couple of days, I've been thinking about our nation. Great Britain are not the chosen people, as Israel were, but we do have a long and deep Christian heritage, which, despite all of our problems and mistakes in the past, has resulted in one of the most tolerant, generous, well-governed, law-abiding, well-educated and civilised societies in the world. But it has become almost impossible in the public arena to point to Christianity as the philosophical root for all these blessings. A notable exception to this is Tom Holland in his recent book Dominion. Instead, our nation is in headlong retreat from its Christian roots, and many people who grew up in Christian families, or who were educated in Christian schools, or who were once professing Christians, have abandoned their faith and have turned to other gods. This breaks God's heart, as Hosea's heart was broken by his disastrous marriage. Those who were once loved by God are not loved, and those who were once God's people are not his people anymore. But the extraordinary and wonderful message of Hosea is that the prophet never gives up on his adulterous wife, and God never gives up on his unfaithful people. Chapter 2 of the prophecy ends on a note of amazing hope. I will show my love to the one I called not my loved one. I will say to those called not my people, you are my people, and they will say, you are my God. We're living through a time of national apostasy at the moment, but it won't last forever. God is an endlessly patient lover, whose arms were stretched wide on the cross in love for his unfaithful people. He is constantly calling us home. Have you heard his call? And who are you praying that they might return? God bless you today.